What's up, world? Texas Memoirs. Texas Memoirs, player sign. So I just got finished watching the Zeitgeist moving forward. So I'm really on my Zeitgeist kick right now. Now I don't really consider myself liberal or conservative. I can say that I'm very liberal when it comes to civil liberties and individual rights and things of that nature. But I've always considered myself very fiscally conservative in that regard when it comes to economics and finance and things of that nature. I've always been against credit. Usury is something that I've always had a big problem with, and I myself, I try not to, to do it. I've told myself that if I can't afford a certain thing, I just can't afford it. I don't, get a new car with a car loan. I don't go buy a house with a mortgage, things of that nature. I rent my apartment and I buy cash cars. That's just what I do. I don't use credit cards for emergencies. If an emergency comes up and I don't have the money, I guess I'm just gonna have to die. If that be the case, I can't really think of any other emergency that would cause for me to even use a credit card. To be honest with you. So that's my thing on credit. And I implore people, please, 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 do not use credit. Don't. It's just. I understand that the benefits of credit, definitely. The whole time I was watching this documentary, I kept going over and over in my head. How can it work? How can we function without credit? And all I can come up with is that credit creates something that's not there. So it does spur growth. It's like steroids, basically. It spurs unnatural growth, if you want to call it that. Even though I don't really believe anything unnatural, being that it is here, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. It spurs a growth that wouldn't be there if credit wasn't there. I guess I should say. So I understand that. But at the same time, though, I truly believe that we can survive without a problem, without credit. Of course, things wouldn't grow as fast, and I'm pretty sure there, because of the slower growth rate, I'm sure there would be, we would have less, because, the economy and everything would grow at a slower rate. But I think we would be just fine, and we wouldn't know anything different, right? Unless, of course, someone else was using credit, and then we saw what they were doing, which is what I think happens pretty much, all around the world. They kind of look at other, nations and say, well, hey, they're using credit, they have better things, they're growing fast, we want to grow fast, we want to have better things too. Reminds me a lot of the Jews wanting to elect the king. And some of the Jewish leaders saying, hey, guys, don't need a king. They say, well, we see other nations, they have a central government, we want a central government. So, but anyway, there's that. So, that's my take on it. And something else I realized tonight, something I really want to talk about, which is only going to take me probably about 20 seconds, but the idea of finite resources. They kept using oil as an example, and I never thought about this before, but oil is not a finite resource because, from what I understand, and I don't know everything about oil, but I know a little bit. Oil comes from the decay of plants and animals. So what that means is, as long as there are dead plants and animals in the earth, in the soil, underground, there's oil constantly being produced. Now, of course, we're probably taking out more oil than that's being produced. But then at the same point, that means that it's not finite. As long as things continue to die, those dead things will continue to produce oil. So, oil is not a finite resource. It's just probably a very slow producing thing. I would love to find out, just how much oil is being produced today. Because oil is being produced every day from dead plants and taking out more than what's being produced, but it's not finite because oil is still getting produced every day. So anyway, that's that. What else do I have to talk about? Zeitgeist moving forward, really like it. I like the Zeitgeist agenda. Not a big fan of Glenn Beck. Not a big fan of Glenn Beck, but I love the conservative talk radio. Rush Limbaugh. Not Glenn Beck. Who's that other guy? I can't even think of his name. WBAP 820 AM is where I'm at most of the time. So like I said, I agree a lot with the conservative, and there are some things that I agree with from the other side of things. When we talk about Zeitgeist and things. I'm not so sure about the whole utopian city. It's a good idea, but in my mind, I think, okay, I got about 9 minutes. That's good. I think like this. Okay, so if I produce a good, and maybe I don't even produce a good, what if I'm an artist? What if, me personally, I like to analyze things. That's really what I would like to do for the rest of my life. I like to analyze. I like customer service. I like to consult. I like to educate. So let's just say I want to be a consultant. Let's just say I want to do that. Okay. So I'm a consultant. In exchange for my consulting services, a farmer will produce food to feed me. Yeah, to feed me. Because of course, my family would have to produce something as well in order to get something back from the farmer. But kids don't really produce anything for a long time. Humans have a long gestation period when it comes to that kind of stuff. So kids wouldn't really be producing a whole lot, but they still have to get fed. So how does that work exactly? Does the farmer produce food for my kids for the sake of giving food to my kids? Or does the farmer repay me for my consulting services to provide food for me and my kids? So does that mean that every consultant only gets the amount of food that they need? What happens if you have a consultant that wants 10 kids versus a consultant with 1 kid? Will the farmer choose one consultant over another, or will he have a choice? See, I think this whole utopian idea of not, of getting rid of credit, I'm not so sure that it will work. I really don't. A resource-based economy, I can't see it. Someone who builds cars, someone who makes plates and forks and spoons, these people have to be compensated some kind of way. I guess I can compensate them with my consulting service. Okay, that's all well and good. But again, the question then becomes, do I get paid only what I necessarily need? Or who decides what I get paid? Something tells me that when you want to look at doing something like this utopian society that's resource based, you're talking about basically limiting what I do. If I'm an artist and I want to paint, well, what if my masterpieces, what if I like doing, murals or something? It takes time to do, How am I going to get paid for my art? And how much art do I have to produce in order to get food for me and my kids? How many kids can I have? So I think a system like that would be very limited. I think in a system like that, there would be less saying what you want to do and more saying, okay, this is what we need as a society. This is what you must do. And this is the payment you must accept for. And I think in that regard, that's something that I wouldn't be happy with. At the same time, never lived in a system like that. So who knows? one that says, "Oh yeah, I just want to paint today. I don't want to farm anymore." I mean, what about the farmer who's making all this food? What happens if he just decides he doesn't want to be a farmer anymore? Can he do that? Do we have enough farmers where it doesn't matter if one farmer decides to not farm? I mean, there's a lot of questions that I have in those sort. So far, my little project has been going pretty good. I have about, I think, I don't know, 10 or 11 videos now. Only a few of them has been my thoughts, but I've been enjoying it. And just like I expected, you know, the title of the video, some title or something else, it gets a couple views. So I got a couple views so far. I would like to get views, but you know, again, this is more for me. And I think it's quality over quantity. You know, maybe if it's not titled something and someone happens upon it for some odd reason, you know, maybe that person would be more inclined to actually be interested in what I have to say versus someone who just happens upon my video because of something that they search for. It probably had nothing to do with what they search for. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's my thought on it. I'm looking at the time. I got like 12 minutes. I'm trying to make this stuff like 15 because, you know, what's the point of making videos you're not going to use all the time, right? Today I'm not looking down at the screen. I'm looking up at the TV. So I got the computer hooked up to the TV. So excuse my neck. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to look more into the camera, but I like looking at myself on the screen. Anyway, yeah. So that's my thought. Oil is not finite. There is more oil being produced every day. Zeitgeist moving forward, very good documentary. I enjoyed it. 2 hours and what, 20 minutes, something like that. So, 2 hours and 40 minutes. So I enjoyed every bit of it. Looking forward to it. Also, looking forward to more conservative documentaries and things of that nature. You know, I don't think there's enough of those, to be honest. So I would like to see some of that stuff. So, yeah. Also, before I go, I want to say something that was told to me. I'm just going to repeat it just because I like hearing it, okay? All right, so here we go, okay? If you want to remain informed, then talk to people and read things and watch things and listen to things that you agree with, okay? If you want to be educated, then you read things, you talk to people, you listen to things, and you do things that you do not agree with. And I believe that very strong. You know, Zeitgeist moving forward is one of those things that I agree with. So it informs me. There was a lot of head nodding and things of that nature, but it really didn't educate. You know, for education, I would need a documentary and a film that I totally disagree with. And that's what I appreciate more than anything. So, yeah, that's just my little tidbit for today. All right, so 14 minutes and 5